Speedway Report is a production of ZTV. Florida short tracks are full of action as we speak in a literal sense. The Daytona International Speedway is ready for NASCAR Speed. We'll call it Speedweeks. We'll call it Speed 6 Days. And we will remember a friend of short tracks who tragically passed on Sunday. Welcome to Speedway Report for Monday, February the 8th, 2021. From the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina, I'm Patrick Reynolds, and thank you for joining the fastest half hour in racing. We have a YouTube channel. We're up, we're running. All the good stuff is there. Please subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. We'd love to see you there as well. Our good friend Leo down in Brazil never watches a live show here on Facebook, catches us every week on YouTube. Buddy, hello, and thanks for tuning in every week in South America. That's so cool that we've got such a dedicated audience member. Way back in the Motor Week Live days with Racers Reunion, Leo's been around a long time. It's good to have him with us each and every week down in Brazil. Let's get to the Victory Lane lap. Talk about mostly Florida short track action, mostly. Lots going on. We'll start with the NASCAR ARCA Series East cars. They're racing right now. They're in pre-race ceremonies down in New Smyrna, Florida. So if you're in that area, obviously you're tuned into the show. But after the show, not before, after the show's over, get your butt over to New Smyrna Speedway on the high-banked half-milers because the ARCA East cars and the Tour Modifieds are also going 50 laps tonight. World of Outlaw late models will begin Wednesday night at Volusia. That is February the 10th on the calendar as we're taping our show on February the 8th. So if you're watching it on the backside, plan your World of Outlaw late model trip accordingly at Volusia Speedway Park. Now, the Volusia hosted the opening round for the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars over the weekend. Friday night, the season opener for the Woo Tour, Brad Sweet won the A main. Saturday's event was rained out, and Sunday, what a heartbreaker for Donnie Schatz. Led the first 28 laps out of 30, and with less than 2 laps to go, mechanical issues slowed him. Schatz was looking for his 300th career World of Outlaw win. Logan Schuchart inherits the checkered flag. Isn't that just part of racing, huh, boys and girls? That's the way the ball bounces. USAC Midgets, also in Florida, racing in Ocala this weekend. On Friday night, this gets a little involved here, so pay attention. On Friday night, they ran 13 laps out of their 30-lap A-main feature. Rain came, cut them short, so they finished up the final 17 laps on Saturday afternoon before the Saturday night feature. The Saturday night feature was rained out again. So the original feature, Buddy Kofoid, was your checkered. Saturday's feature, rained out, was not put to last night. Actually, right now. Yes, tonight in Ocala are the USAC Midgets. So I think that buttons up. No, it does. I was about to say that buttons up everything that's running tonight. Not true. Live right now. It's tough. The podcast goes up against live short track racing. I say, well, podcast you can listen to later. Don't miss the races. Over the weekend, Florence Motor Speedway in Timmonsville, South Carolina, hosted the Icebreakers for late models. That went to Chad McCumbee. Now let's bring you up to speed on New Smyrna Speedway, the results anyway. We're going to talk a little bit more about the track quite a bit later. Friday night's results, the Super Late Model feature won by Ryan Moore, the Pro Late Models to Jeff Noland, Mods to Travis Eddy, and Sportsman to Matthew Green. Saturday night's Super Late Model feature won by Derek Griffith, the Pro Late Models again by Jeff Noland, the Mods by Eddie again, and Sportsman this time by Brian Kruzak. And then last night, Super Lates were won by Sammy Smith, the Pros to Connor Jones, the Florida Mods to Tim Moore. And as we just mentioned, your Tour Mods are going 50 laps, and the ARCA East will go 175. On the dirt, Volusia Speedway Park has been busy for even longer. Last Tuesday in the UMP Mods, the feature was won by Nick Hoffman. Wednesday night, the All-Star Sprints was won by Logan Schuchart. He leaves there with 2 trophies out of Florida. And the UMP Mods were split by Tyler Nicely and Nick Hoffman in the Twin 20s. Thursday night, the All-Star Sprints were won by Carson Macedo. And the UMP mods by Jason Hughes and Kyle Strickler. Friday night, the UMP mods went 5 15-lap feature races. They've been close to 100 cars entered at Volusia every night, not just for all divisions, but just in the UMP mods. So they went 5 15-lap features. They were won by David Rudiman, former Cup driver, Clay Harris, Chad Roush, Nick Allen, and Richard Michael Jr. Saturday, the theme rained out everywhere. And then last night in the UMP mods, Steve Arpin and Nick Hoffman split the Twin 20s. Tonight is the big Gator Championship race for the UMP mods. Well, that brings up to speed at least who was in the winner's circle. We're going to have all the results coming next week. There'll be a busy super speedway at Daytona and busy short tracks around. We'll talk about that. We certainly want to remember a friend to short track racing, track official at New Smyrna, Russell Cruz, passed away on Sunday evening. Now, there was a lot of scuttlebutt on the internet with some gray at best information, some misinformation, and mixed in there was the truth. I can report to you guys what has been released from the sheriff's office, from the local sheriff's office. I think that's a reliable source. Deputies responded to the New Smyrna Speedway about 12:30 a.m. on Sunday. This was after Saturday night's racing. There was a large fight between two race teams. It was in the sportsman division. Cruz, the good official and dedicated short track guy that he was, he went to break up the crowd, but he became involved in the fight. That's not uncommon when you try to break up something like that. There's a lot of people involved. The crowd separated, and following the fight calming down, Cruz sat down and he started to have what they called a medical episode. Investigators said a witness started to perform CPR on Cruz before first responders did arrive, and then the 59-year-old died at the hospital. It was a cardiac arrest that is looking at the preliminary as the cause of death. Investigators have said that no criminal charges are currently pending, but the case remains open until a final autopsy report is completed. It was a cardiac event, and I'll quote that, a cardiac event that did take Cruz's life. Now, what relation does this have to the fight in the sportsman division? Maybe nothing, maybe a whole lot. There was a lot of people upset in Sunday morning, checking my social media, folks calling for action and for those responsible. I think that's a little quick on the trigger to pull that. I know Russell was a very popular guy, loved by so many in the short track world, and everybody talked to him. So many people knew him down in New Smyrna. But that you've got to, I think, remove emotions from this. I can, and I am. See what the autopsy says about this. It may still be hard to tell whether that fight had anything to do with the cardiac arrest. Anyway, what we have is two crews in a brawl on the in the pit area at New Smyrna Speedway over a sportsman race. And I don't know, we've all been there as far as fights, yelling, screaming. Certainly you don't want anything to turn ugly like this, but I'd rather wait for the official word before we say it did or did not have anything to do with the fight, because there was a lot of people wanted to round up these sportsman teams and string them up. Not saying they don't deserve it. Maybe they do. However, we should wait until the final report comes in from the autopsy in the coroner's office. This is a case, we see it a lot with the rush to judgment on social media. If you loved Russell Cruz and knew him well, I could easily see how you jumped to that. But we see it with all kinds of things all the time. All kinds of news stories and points of interest that we don't wait for facts. We want to be first. We want to get out there. We want to beat our chest. We want to, have the torch flamed up and wave that to the crowd and be a leader of some sort. Not really. It doesn't really help. It doesn't really help and doesn't go that way. I can't say I've never been in a fight at a racetrack. I have. There's the old criticism of if we don't have fist fights in the pit area, then guys are going to use race cars as weapons at each other. That's awful. That's terrible. Fighting's no good either. But I can't say I haven't witnessed and been a part of that, all of that. I have. I've seen it. I've been on all ends of what they just described there over the years, of cars, of fights, of cars as weapons, cars as battering rams, things like that. So that didn't happen, but we had the fist fight. It was large brawl, according to reports from it anyway. Just a sad state of affairs. It not necessarily had anything to do with losing Russell Cruz, but our prayers and thoughts go out to Russell Cruz, his family, and his memory. There's short track racers. They just have that racer blood in them, and they don't all wear fire suits. They don't all wear helmets, but they're racers, and they're part of the sport. And if we had no tech guys, had no officials, the sport really would not exist. Fact, just would not. So it's just a sad story to see an official like that. But they're carrying on with New Smyrna Speedway. They raced last night. They are racing tonight. Weather for the rest of the week down there is iffy. There was, I think, a change of plans. Doug Kobe it was, who was down there. So many tour mods down there. There's like over 40 guys entered for the modified tour mod racing at New Smyrna. Doug Kobe had a change of plans. He said he is going to race in the 50-lapper tonight. Original plans had him not racing in that race tonight, but the weather doesn't look good down there for the rest of the week. He'd hate to tow from Connecticut to Florida just to be rained out and then come back. Original reports had New Smyrna starting all the tour mods that showed up, so you're going to have over 40 cars start a 50-lap feature tonight. That has been scrapped. There have been what do you call it? They're going to have some time trials to qualify the first part of the field, a few provisionals, and then 1 or 2 B mains, depending on how many cars they have. So it could be a very, very good and exciting night of racing at New Smyrna Speedway. We're looking here at February the 8th as we go live tonight, and February 7th last night was Super Bowl Sunday. Evidently, that was some football game last night. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't care. But good for them. What it is, I do recognize it as the biggest sporting event. I don't know if it is in the world, but it certainly is here in the United States. Although my 2 big ones are the Daytona 500 and the Indianapolis 500. I don't don't follow football, but it certainly impacted Speedweeks this year at Daytona International Speedway. We talked about this last week, whether it was COVID, cost for the teams, or the Super Bowl, combination of all three in my mind. In any event, the Clash has never gone up against the Super Bowl on the same day. It's gone the night before on Saturday. It's been the week after, depending on when the Super Bowl was, and then as the NFL expanded their playoffs over the years, the Super Bowl has gone later. It started in mid-January, went to late January, now we're into the first week of February, getting closer and closer to Speedweeks. As we go live tonight, we are looking at a Busch Clash on the Tuesday night road course. I'll be tuned in tomorrow night, and it's Fox Sports 1. And then we have pole qualifying on Wednesday, the duels on Thursday. Friday, we'll have the truck race. Saturday will be the ARCA race and the Xfinity race. And Sunday, Valentine's Day, will be the 500. This used to be spread out over Speedweeks, plural, with the Rolex 24 blending into the Clash and the front row qualifying and the ARCA race. I miss those days. I miss the simplicity of it. I miss the 20-lap Busch Clash. That was the best. Soon as in the early 90s, they started splitting this into 10 laps, and then we'll reverse the field and go another 10 laps. The gimmicky crap, God, I hated it. But right up through 1990, we just ran 20 laps straight through. I miss all that in NASCAR, where we just raced. We got so many gimmicks with the racing, with the point system. Can't stand any of it. Anyway, we are having a stoppage tomorrow night. The Clash will be on the road course. I don't know. I missed the oval already. We'll go 35 laps, and we're going to have a caution at lap 15. Like everything, NASCAR and the fan base has said, well, let's see it before we pass judgment on it. I heard that in 2003 when the championship was decided by the first chase in 2004. And here we are in 2021, and I'm still suffering through NASCAR playoffs. Yay. In any event, the Super Bowl has pushed directly into Speedweeks, and I'm wondering where the Super Bowl will land in the coming years and what we'll do with Speedweeks. A few years ago, NASCAR had moved the Daytona 500 back 1 week, so it was a week later in February. Ran that way for several years in anticipation of just this. The Super Bowl keep expanding later into February, and they wanted to get out ahead of it. Now, with this situation, we're really getting close to Speedweeks overlapping with the Super Bowl. They adjusted that this year. Could call COVID and team expense as an excuse. When we finally move through the quarantine, I'd like to see what NASCAR does. I would not be afraid of the Super Bowl. Actually, I think it would be a ratings bonanza if we had a Sunday afternoon network that carried the Super Bowl, also carry the Busch Clash. I think that's a gold mine. They're ready to happen. So many people are afraid of the NFL. I say join with them. Let's begin. You know, Super Bowl coverage begins at noon with a kickoff at 6:30. It happens that way every year. What if we had some Super Bowl pregame at noon, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon? We break away for 30 minutes or an hour, go run the Clash at Daytona as a big promo for the 500, and then go back for the last couple of hours of the NFL pregame show. Or even better, just run the Clash right up until kickoff. I don't know. I'm going crazy here because I'm a race guy and don't follow football too much. But you see where I'm going. There's lots to do here. I don't mind what we did, the simplicity, the things we did for so many years, and I can tell that some things we did got stale. However, the changes they made, NASCAR has made for the last 20 years, I think has always made things worse. Never really made anything better. I think everything has gotten worse and worse, and just, I don't know. You're losing fans left and right. I'm kind of excited for Speedweeks. I guess I am, but not really the cable TV satellite gluing guy that I used to be, of watching every single practice session and scoring session, qualifying session. I didn't miss a lap down there. Now I'm really following the short tracks. Always have. There's always a bonanza down there with the Speedway during the day and the tracks at night. Speedway is running more and more of their stuff at night, which is interfering with the short tracks. And push comes to shove, I'd much rather go to New Smyrna or Volusia anyway than the big track as it is. So the laptop has been handy for watching some online short track racing. That's been pretty good. But yes, I will still be tuned in. I'll complain about NASCAR, but yes, I am watching Speedweeks, and I'm looking forward to the 500 next week. Well, as always, we're going to give our regards to Motor Week Illustrated and Dave Despain with our Racer of the Week. And we had some good guys racing down in Florida. Some did an outstanding job. And what we've talked about on the show before is the word racer. That thing inside you, that intangible, that's something I can't put on paper. The heart, the soul that bleeds this sport, that is dedicated to it and loves it. And a lot of times they don't wear fire suits. They don't make millions of dollars. They just have the character and ethics to be part of the sport. Rest in peace, but our Racer of the Week will be Russell Cruz from the New Smyrna Speedway. Nope, he didn't climb through a window and drive a car, but as an official and a guy that gave his life literally to this sport, that to me is a racer. And he is the Speedway Report Racer of the Week. In between our broadcasts, keep up on the world of racing with SpeedwayReport.com. This show and all of the rest of our archives are uploaded on the site. We've got some articles to read from the past and catch up with us. Tricky word there. On social media. Let's start it out. Facebook, Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds and Racers Reunion. On Twitter, it's at Speedway Report and at Speedway Pat. And we are in the forum on racersreunion.com. If you are connected to me, we always plug it in. The YouTube channel, new YouTube channel. Go check out, get a subscription, and catch up on our show. Big thanks to everyone on the Facebook Live feed for joining us tonight. I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. It is tough to juggle 2 screens, produce, write the script, run the site, run the sound, run the audio, do all of it at once while you guys are chatting online, but I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. I want to thank all of the military past and present for the freedoms we enjoy as Americans in our daily life, including the simple things like bench racing right here on a Monday night. Freedom is not free, and a veteran paid that bill for us. To all of the men and women who are defending freedom and watching Speedway Report, you take care of yourselves and come home soon. A special salute to the teachers, firefighters, police officers, school staff, and paramedics in our own communities. They are quiet and modest heroes every single day. God bless and thank you. You've been watching Speedway Report from the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina. Please like our Facebook page, Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds, and join me on Twitter at SpeedwayPat. Now, if you're on Facebook Live right now, February the 8th at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time, you got about 10 minutes. You get on over to the Drag Racing List Facebook page. Drag List Live with Bill and John is coming up in about 10 minutes at the top of the hour. Now, I'll be back live here on Facebook. It will be Monday, February the 15th. We'll have the details from Florida Speedweeks, the short tracks, NASCAR's openers at Daytona, and, of course, the Daytona 500. Thanks for watching. You take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'll see y'all next week.